How does it feel to have lived long enough to see all of your favorite franchises go down in flames?
Feels great.
Well, that is how I've been feeling ever since Star Wars made a comeback with Disney. Now nothing but a rotten corpse still walking. Hello ladies and gentlemen, how's everyone doing? My name is Cyber, and I have a deep hatred towards modern writing. And this is capable of expanding towards so many IPs I once loved, like Tolkien, Marvel, DC, and it only gets worse from there, trust me. But Netflix, they are the epitome of everything that sucks. Destroying a legacy, check. Slaughtering legacy characters, check. Shitty Western animation, check. And worst of all, fucking politics, check. God, can't get enough of them, can we? Everywhere we go, everywhere we look in media, everything has to get political one way or another. Not in an intricate, thoughtful, provoking way that leads you to think about what you just watched. Just utter disgusting slop. Shoved down our throats by people so heavily biased to put in their agenda in that famous media because they know they are incapable of creating anything relatively good as the source material. You know, it's kind of like that good old saying. Evil is not able to create anything new. It can only distort and destroy what has been invented or made by the forces of good. Some random guy. I'm not gonna lie, I am cooking another video on this, but what matters here and now is that one of the most idiotic things to put in your story is relativism. When you try to induce the good old, but look at the other perspective, you already lose a lot of your audience. This concept of demons, orcs, or any evil displayed in media being attributed to minorities is just... Really? There is no other way to put in better words other than... DMC is about style, flavorful edge, over-the-top scenes, non-serious comedy, and religion as a base for aesthetics, design, and character concepts. Not ideology. Adi doesn't want to tell a DMC story. He wants to sell a propaganda, masquerading itself with a famous IP. We've seen this before, guys. You'll need to change strategies because clearly people are noticing it more and more. Castlevania Nocturne also suffered through backlash from this religious stuff, and it doesn't matter how many times he denies that, there's no escaping the obvious. Bad white guys that happens to be Christian, over and over again. And since we are in this topic, let me be bold for a second. Atheists aren't true atheists. They just hate Christianity because it's safe edge. The cool thing from the 70s diluted to a point of stupidity. I am not a religious guy at all, I simply don't care, but come on, really? In my story, angels are evil. Oh, original. And God will be evil too. Daring today, aren't we? Can't these people see why Doom, Frieren, Berserk... Don't you touch that, you fucking bastard! And let me just ask you this question, Adi. What the hell do you think you're doing? Anyway, back to the video. As I was saying, just as he previously stated, Devil May Cry and Castlevania also have the good old evil to be defeated. They all culminate to the same things, consistent bad guys. Here, I'll make it easy for you to understand. What is a villain? A shadow born of broken ideals and bitter vengeance. I can see the resemblance now. There is a place and time for you to put in other views and perspectives in a narrative. Not easy though. One clear example is Undertale, an innocent game with the most heinous fanbase. But the game itself is one that gives its fair share of takes in forgiveness, redemption, and the fact that the underground monsters that humans hate are not that distant from themselves and actually pretty likable. And it allows you to dive into stories of these cute, deep, and interesting characters and let yourself cherish their happiness, feel their sadness, or just kill all of them. And then let the entire fanbase want your head on a silver plate. But we don't talk about that, right? The worst thing really is the fact that even while disrupting and flushing down the toilet all of what made the original IPs good, the story isn't even that great. They are bland, boring, and filled with generic caricatures of previously established heroes and villains, not including the fact that the director himself says that the rabbit is the main character. And I wish I was joking. But so was Maria and Annette, in a way. You know, Annette, the not at all favorite character. At least her character story is accurate, right? Right. Demons and vampires having feelings and families does not equate to depth. Flipping the script and innovating a story is part of what makes a good continuation and what it should be, but this isn't an ode to a beloved game while interestingly adding to a greater story. It's mutilating what made something special in the first place. If you don't respect, enjoy, or appreciate the core of what made something timeless, you don't get to wear its skin. That is not art. That's destructive fanfiction. Here, since you guys can't do your homework and play video games, I'll summarize them for you nicely with everything you need. Since you want a young Dante and Virgil, just follow DMC3 to its core. Dante is a cocky, rebellious man that gets no pussy whatsoever and whom owns a nameless company that hunts demons. His whole scheme is that he loves to show off and suffers from a severe case of not liking his heritage, neglecting his legacy as Sparta's son. He loves and respects his mother that represents his humanity down to his core. You know, something he would never make fun of. Meanwhile, his brother Virgil is cold, serious, edgy guy that gets mad pussy. A perfect antithesis of Dante as he embraces his demon side and pushes down his humanity, something that is explored throughout all of the games pretty much. Always seeking power and hating Mundus, but I don't know why mentioning that would be relevant, right? Lady is an angst-focused badass, but not as much as Dante, very important. Girl that carries some justified hatred in her heart, in her path of vengeance against her father, Arkham, seeking retribution for her mother. They flattened her emotions so much that she's almost matching the new Shalabal from MCU. Just look at that. Jesus Christ. As for Castlevania, Dracula is pure evil, a pitiful redditor that swears revenge on God because he can't deal with his own issues. That guy is not tragic. And Richter...
Die, monster! You don't belong in this world!
That is all you need. And not how to bang your friend's mother simulator, for fuck's sake. And I could go on, but you get my point. You know you reached peak retardation when you put a goddamn turban on a demon in a story focused on killing demons for fun, since they are pure evil. Full of lovely characters that now can't spend more than 2 seconds without going full British and swearing like a rageful teenager, instead of telling an emotional driven tale of brothers battling each other off from different views. An awesome girl that struggles with her emotions and cool fight scenes and... not this. Or change a story about defeating the ultimate evil, full of hope despite all odds in search of healing the world's cruelty to a mangled rich people are bad, there's no good in the world and the horrors of slaverism story. Oh, and your favorite character? Now he likes cock because Sam Dietz said so. Deal with it, chuds. These people simply can't separate reality from fiction. Jesus Christ. That's why every adaptation is received with anger and backlash. And you know, just to close arguments for real and finish this absurdism that rottens modern writing, can we stop for real? Just stop attributing ugly devilish fiends to minorities. I know I said that, but even I, as a goddamn Brazilian man, can tell you, if I was watching a story about my queen Bayonetta fighting against angels or demons, and somehow they put in a stupid lore that the Umbra witches are on the wrong side of history and being racists towards a third world country, I'll tell you, I wouldn't be happy to be portrayed as a pussified creature meant to relate to me. I would be boiling in fury. So at least for the sake of your show, use real life stereotypes of Muslims, you know? Just like